Well, hello there, my good friends, and welcome back. We're here doing the lessons of A Course in Miracles, and today I'm joined by my beautiful good friend, Anne-Marie, who is also a Course in Miracles student, and the first Course in Miracles student that I ever met in person in 2018 at a retreat for Tina Louise Spalding's group in Salt Spring Island, Canada. And she has a wonderful YouTube channel called Anne-Marie, The Art of Healing, that I will link below that you can check out. She is an amazing healer, very talented. She does energy work, light language, sessions galore. She's deeply connected to spirit and can help you with so many things. So I happen to be staying at her house and I invited her to do the lesson today.
Thank you.
So today we're going to do lesson number 8, and we both have our books, so please follow along with us. Here we go. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. This idea is, of course, the reason why you see only the past. No one really sees anything. He sees only his thoughts projected outward. The mind's preoccupation with the past is the cause of the misconception about time from which your seeing suffers. Your mind cannot grasp the present, which is the only time there is. It therefore cannot understand time and cannot in fact understand anything. The one wholly true thought one can hold about the past is that it is not here. To think about it at all is therefore to think about illusions. Very few have realized what is actually entailed in picturing the past or in anticipating the future. The mind is actually blank when it does this, because it is not really thinking about anything. The purpose of the exercises for today is to begin to train your mind to recognize when it is not really thinking at all. This is excellent. While thoughtless ideas preoccupy your mind, the truth is blocked. Recognizing that your mind has been merely blank, rather than believing that it is filled with real ideas, is the first step to opening the way to vision. The exercises for today should be done with eyes closed. This is because you actually cannot see anything, and it is easier to recognize that no matter how vividly you may picture a thought, you are not seeing anything. Boy, Jesus is driving this one home, everyone. With as little investment as possible, search your mind for the usual minute or so, merely noting the thoughts you find there. Name each one by the central figure or theme it contains, and pass on to the next. Introduce the practice period by saying, I seem to be thinking about blank, whatever is going on in your life. So would you like to do like a talk through with anything that happened in your life today, Anne-Marie?
Yeah, no, sure. Finish out the lesson now.
Okay, all right. So then we're moving on. Then name each of your thoughts specifically. For example, I seem to be thinking about, let's say, President Trump, about the name of an object. You know, I guess if the person isn't the thing, the name of an object could be the house.
The dishes you have to do,
The dishes,
laundry,
right.
whatever.
The name of an emotion. I'm thinking about my depression. And so on, concluding at the end of the mind searching period with, but my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. So you're linking together whatever your upset is with this mantra that is actually training your mind to tell you what's really going on, is your mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. This can be done 4 or 5 times during the day unless you find it irritates you. If you find it trying, 3 or 4 times is sufficient. So don't overdo it, don't push yourself, but definitely bring those things to the surface and give this a whole pass through, making sure that you add in, but my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. You might find it helpful, however, to include your irritation or any emotion that the idea for today may induce in the mind searching itself. And that is lesson 8, everyone, of A Course in Miracles. So,
Well, what's interesting is this morning I had a whole situation happen very early with my mom. I live with my mother. Sherry is staying with me. But I would like to just give a little bit of a commentary about these first few lessons, if you don't mind. So in this first few lessons, in this first week or so, what you're being pointed out is that nothing is what you think it is, ever. And you can start with very simple things. You could start with, a vessel. You could start with like these mugs, these containers, okay? Why do you know these are what they are? Because of the past use of them, right? You could use this completely perfectly as a planter. Doesn't have to hold a cup of coffee or a drink or whatever, whatever it is. So it's only how our minds remember things. So keeping that in mind, this morning I had a situation. My mother's very elderly. She's 97. And my relationship with her has never been one of great peace. Let's just put it that way. And now I've moved back into her home, even though it is my home, whatever. And I was reflecting with Sherry that I want something from her that she's just not capable of giving me. Okay, so I don't know. What do you want to say about that?
Well,
being a third party that witnessed a disagreement.
Yeah, so there was an argument this morning that took place because there's a little kitty that lives here, and the kitty got out because Nana, which is what we call her mom, accidentally let the cat out.
Right.
And so that inspired Anne-Marie to have a conversation with her that sounded like there was a lot of friction and tension, and that it probably wasn't just about the cat. It was like there were things bubbled under the surface that kind of blabbed out. So I guess it's just noticing that these things were opportunities for you to know that there's something inside of you that needs to have some attention, needs to be expressed, and that just, if that told you anything, or maybe if this happened in the future, would you handle it a little differently?
Absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, we are pre-programmed. We have this program running. She's been my mother for 56 years. And she ain't going to change now. Ain't going to happen. She's 97, right? So what has to change? My mind has to change. And it has. It has in various phases of my spiritual progression. I had a beautiful session with an Akashic reader, and this Akashic reader said, you're not seeing her as God. You're just not. You're seeing her as your mother that has been your mother your entire life and has done whatever she has done or not done your whole life. And that was such an epiphany that she changed. Her behavior changed because my mind changed. So I think that's really important for us to understand. And even though we're at the very baby beginning of this course, and it's 365 days, but the true nature is, and that's why these first lessons are so important, they're such a beautiful ground for the rest of it. It truly starts and ends with our minds. Everything does. Our perception of our reality affects our reality, because we create our reality with our thoughts, with our beliefs, with our actions. So, and another thing is, Sherry and I have been doing this for six years at least, and we're still in it, But the bottom line is that this makes the journey so much easier, because you understand that it is your thoughts that create your reality. And this is a fundamental lesson. It truly, truly is. We only see the past. Like, I'm only remembering all the years and the behavior of my mother. And my mind is preoccupied. So what does that mean? I'm expecting her to behave in a way that I believe I know she's going to behave, But what if in these lessons I imagine her being different, right? Number one,
or that thing that you were saying, you want something from her that she's not going to give you.
I want something from her, yeah.
If you can give that to yourself, then that same miracle will happen. Her behavior will change again.
Her behavior will change. But yeah, that's the excavation work that I call it. You take a pickaxe to your life and you're like, what does this mean? Wackoon.
Oh.
And let's see what's underneath this rock, what's underneath this rock behavior, what's the little worms that are dwelling underneath there. And that's what you do, but you have to.
We're looking for worms.
Basically. But along the way, you're going to find diamonds and you're going to find rubies and you're going to find beautiful things. Yeah, absolutely. Before we stop, I love you. Before we stop, Sherry gave me a beautiful thing. And for those of you that struggle with relationships and all that kind of thing, she talked to me about body triggers, which, what a lesson. So your body is going to give you a signal that you're about to lose your mind, right? And she pointed that out to me, which I didn't think about. Of course, I was groggy. It was early in the morning. But awareness, right? We've got to be aware, and that's what in the lesson it says it. When we do not think about what we're doing, what is it, or was it?
That you're really not thinking about anything. You're not thinking real thoughts. Very few have realized what is actually entailed in picturing the past or anticipating the present. The mind is actually blank when it does this. So when your mind is not blank, you know that you're being infiltrated by the past thoughts, or you're projecting a false future that you think has to happen, or else you can never be happy or satisfied. So you're kind of like seesawing between these two places, which is not the present.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure which line you were looking for.
I know.
Let's say, while thoughtless ideas preoccupy your mind, the truth is blocked, which comes back to the purpose of the Course in Miracles, which is to unblock the awareness of love's presence. We're supposed to be feeling this like blissful feeling running through our energy fields all the time. And it's our thoughts, it's our minds that prevent us from living in that state of pure bliss, of enlightenment, awakening, whatever you'd like to call it. Did you find it?
I kind of found it. Like when we were reading it, something like clicked, and then I forgot it. But,
Always.
It happens. Recognizing, while thoughtless ideas preoccupy your mind, the truth is blocked. So our minds are always filled with crap. Always. They're always generating thoughts about whatever we have to do. That's why this bottom exercise is important. I'm always thinking about what I have still to do at work. I'm always thinking about what's going to happen when I get home because I'm angry at my spouse. What am I thinking about during the day? And all these thoughts miscreate. They miscreate our world for us, okay? So this is why these foundational lessons are so important, because they identify so many things about our day-to-day and how we can miscreate because our minds are occupied with useless, meaningless things, with nothing. They're really nothing. So another push for conscious creation, right? Conscious thoughts, not mindless thoughts. That's that.
I love it. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining me today. This was great. We added in some love and some friendship into this, and actually the best friends that I have in my life right now are Course in Miracles students. Because this is how we can be with each other. I was totally comfortable being in the bedroom while this experience was happening between Anne-Marie and her mom, and I was super happy when she was ready to have a conversation about how I saw it from this Course in Miracles perspective. So it's amazing to have, people like us in your life, because you get the truth, the real talk.
And on top of everything, there's no judgment.
Right.
We are so comfortable talking about everything because we know that we're not going to be judged by each other. We understand, look, this is your journey. Okay, you're going through it. What does it mean for you, right? And we're here in total support of each other. So I love that too.
Me too.
We love you.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Have a great day, guys.
Thanks for having Anne-Marie.
Keep it up. You can do it.
Lesson number 8. You're doing awesome. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.